OMG. You have to see these epic mainstream media meltdowns over Trump's landslide victory. There were many wild reactions to Donald Trump being named the 47th President of the United States. Kicking us off is Nancy Pelosi, who held a press conference the morning after the results were announced.
No point in saying good morning, because it certainly is not one.
Oh wow. Cry a little harder, Nancy. Next up is Whoopi Goldberg on The View, and you know we all knew something good would come from these sad women.
Some pundits are asking what the vice president could have done differently to break through with the voters. Of course, she only had 3 months to campaign, rally. She kicked his butt all over the country over the course of those 2 months. She did every debate, every interview. People kept saying they didn't know who she was, so then she told them who she was.
If Kamala Harris did such a good job breaking through to the American people, why did Donald Trump win by a landslide? Might want to rethink your analysis there, Whoopi. Of course, we can't leave out MSNBC's Joe Scarborough from the list.
And I just say, Rev, really quickly, too. Democrats need to be mature, and they need to be honest. And they need to say, yes, there's misogyny. But it's not just misogyny from white men. Mm-hmm. It's misogyny from Hispanic men.
Right.
It's misogyny from black men, things we've all been talking about, who do not want a woman leading them. Might be race issues with Hispanics. They don't want a black woman as president of the United States. You know, the Democratic Party, I've always found when you're sitting around talking, they love to just sort of balkanize everybody into these separate groups and say, oh, white people don't like women and black people. No, it is time for the Democrats to say, okay, and you and I have talked about this before, a lot of Hispanic voters have problems with black candidates.
Right.
A lot
and with other Hispanics. You got some that don't like each other. And some of the most misogynist things I've heard going on this Get Out the Vote tour came from black men. I mean, misogynist things. So you're absolutely right. It's not simplistic. And we've got to have real honest conversations about it.
Honest conversations.
Did Kamala Harris lose because of racism or misogyny? At some point, the Democrats need to realize their candidate lost across all races, all economic classes, and both genders. This has nothing to do with racism or misogyny and has everything to do with Kamala being a terrible candidate. Maybe that's why CNN's Jake Tapper was confused when he learned Kamala didn't outperform Joe Biden.
So you asked, are there any places that the vice president is overperforming Joe Biden in 2020? So we can show you that as well. We just bring that out here. Harris overperforming in 2020.
Holy smokes.
There you go. So let this go away and see if there's anything on the east side there.
Literally nothing?
Literally nothing.
Literally not one county?
Must be all that racism and misogyny, right, Jake? But the best reaction came from CNN's Scott Jennings, who explained precisely how the American people feel about Democrats and the mainstream media.
This is a mandate. He's won the national popular vote for the first time for a Republican, for the first time since 2004. This is a big deal. This isn't backing into the office. This is a mandate to do what you said you were going to do. Get the economy working again for regular working class Americans. Fix immigration. Try to get crime under control. Try to reduce the chaos in the world. This is a mandate from the American people to do that. I think I'm interpreting the results tonight as the revenge of just the regular old working class American, the anonymous American who has been crushed, insulted, condescended to. They're not garbage. They're not Nazis. They're just regular people who get up and go to work every day and are trying to make a better life for their kids, and they feel like they have been told to just shut up when they have complained about the things that are hurting them in their own lives. I also feel like this election, as we sit here and pour over this tonight, is something of an indictment of the political information complex. I mean, we've been sitting around here for the last couple of weeks, and the story that was portrayed was not true. And we were told Puerto Rico was going to change the election. Liz Cheney, Nikki Haley voters, women lying to their husbands. Before that, it was Tim Walz and the camo hats. Night after night after night, we were told all these things and gimmicks were going to somehow push Harris over the line. And we were just ignoring the fundamentals. inflation, people feeling like that they were barely able to tread water at best, that was the fundamentals of the election. And so I think that both parties should always look at the results of an election and figure out what went right and what went wrong. But I think for all of us who cover elections and talk about elections and do this on a day-to-day basis, we have to figure out how to understand, talk to, and listen to the half of the country that rose up tonight and said, we've had enough.
Scott is absolutely right. The media talks about the average American like we're stupid, uneducated, poor hillbillies who don't know what's best for ourselves or our families. We disagree with progressive policies, so they think being condescending will somehow get Americans to vote for them and their agenda. The joke is on them. We're being unburdened by what has been.